All right, you guys. Welcome to the Value Podcast, where valuable people attract people of value. I'm Jamel Jackson, your relationship mechanic. I focus on repairing, evaluating, and giving you the tools you need to maintain healthy relationships. Y'all already know what's going down, man. I got Marissa King on here, the marketing strategist, the world changer, the guru of innovative thinking. I'm trying my best, y'all. I'm telling you, I'm getting better at introducing people, man. She's a mom. She's an awesome mother. She has beautiful children. She has a beautiful life. Am I messing it up, Marissa?
No, you're good. Wow, I sound great. Thank you.
Okay, tell the people something I might have missed. She does a plethora of so many things. I can't even run a list down, but she is an awesome woman. Go ahead, Marissa. Hit them.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I got some beautiful children. I love them. They're great. So I enjoy being a mother. I run a marketing agency, and I've been doing that for about 20 years at this point. And, I'm just here. I do some women's empowerment brunches and fun stuff like that, really trying to connect with the people.
Awesome, awesome. Now you said, hold on, what was the name? The marketing. What's the name of it again? I don't know why I missed the name.
Oh, I didn't say the name. So
No.
I merged my company recently. I don't know if you know that. So now I run Collective 23.
Oh, Collective 23. So is that
Yes.
collective23.com?
Yes, it's collective23.com spelled out.
Okay, okay, I didn't know that. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. No little thing learned here this morning.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
now, y'all know this particular value podcast is Jamel. I have questions, and my guests come on and they ask me a couple questions centered around relationships. And Marissa King is on here to ask questions. So y'all, I'm really nervous because I don't know what's gonna come out of Marissa's mouth this morning.
It's early. I don't know if we should. I think I'm just gonna go in and start with the crazier one for me.
I want the crazy. I want the wit, the crazy, the wow. Let's do it, man. Let's get it. The crazy wow, whatever.
So I do have a question, and my question is: when you're in a relationship and you want to communicate your sexual desires, right? How
Uh-huh.
do you do that in like a healthy way without being maybe like as a woman, you know what I mean, being too forward or offensive, like being really clear on what you want, and just how do you communicate that in an effective way?
Is this with your significant other or just a person you kind of met and you about to take it, you want to take it to that level?
I would say with a significant other, because I mean, I don't know. I think with someone you met it's a little different, but with a significant other, let's just say that.
Now you saying, so are you guys having sex or are you about to take it to another level in the sex?
So the question is like, if you're intimate with somebody, right? But
Right.
you really want to be clear on what you need. You want to
Ah,
be clear on what you need in order to be fulfilled, right? How do you communicate that in a way that's, okay?
I believe creating the atmosphere and timing. So obviously, I wouldn't personally as a woman like just we, but everybody's different. You might have to know your significant other, but I still would create that environment. Let's just say you guys are working out, and then that's not. I don't think that's a good environment to be like. You know what? I like it. I would like it better if you went down and did this. Be like, okay, that might not register or even sit for that moment. You know what I mean? But let's
Right.
just paint a picture. Like, let's just say you guys just finished being intimate and you're
Hmm.
laying there and maybe he's holding you in his arms and it's like you got it's cuddled up and the atmosphere is very solemn and you got the pillow talk going on and
Yeah.
you have his undivided attention. It's like there's nothing else going on and he's like locked into you face to face probably, or maybe however you guys are positioned and you're like, you know what, babe, can I say something? And you're like, oh, what's going on? And you're like, you know what, here I want to tell you some things that I desire that could possibly improve our sexual our sexual life. And you might be like, okay, what is it? And then it's like, boom. I think that's the moment where you can just pour in right there. But definitely picking the time and the atmosphere. Definitely don't want to do it because some people want to do it in heated times.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they heat it and they heat it and be like, yeah, what you everything would be better if you just did this in the bedroom. It's like, oh snap. Now this person feels like they're being targeted or they're somebody's coming after them versus coming with a suggestion and you know something very polite.
Okay. All right.
Definitely pick the
So
moment.
pick the moment. Be
Pick
polite.
the moment. Choose the moment. Choose the moment wisely. Even for a man, you know, there may be some things that he desires, and you got to create that moment, man. You know, it can't just be we walking. I don't know. We at mom's house playing spades, and you just come whisper in my ear. You know what? Things would be better if you did this for me. I really would like you. No, pick the moment. Choose the atmosphere. You know, you might have to set the tone. Set the
Right.
tone. I like that right there. Set the tone, and then pose the question.
Okay.
Set
Okay.
the tone. And women, here's the thing. I was telling somebody this yesterday. Women have power. Women are very powerful. Women are very powerful. You guys can get what you want.
Right.
It's all in how it's done. You guys set that tone and be like, listen, babe, this is what I like. And any man that desires his woman, especially his significant other, he's gonna be like, okay, I'll do that. Okay.
Right.
Better utilize them superpowers.
Right, right. Okay. That's helpful. That's awesome. Um, okay, so in relationships, I mean, sometimes you're going through something, right? And you're trying to figure out which way to go.
Hmm.
What do you think is the way that you know when time is up, when like you just shouldn't pursue it any further? Like if you're in a relationship with someone and it's been chaotic, and all relationships take work, right? So you're just pushing through and you're working. Um, at what point do you say that like there's a lot of work going on but no progress, and when do you walk away?
Now, when you say walk away, you mean like, okay, I guess if you're married, you mean divorce, and if you're not married, you mean we're done. We're not in a relationship no more.
Correct.
I gotta be. You know what? I'm gonna be straightforward, man, because I think sometimes this type of answer is oftentimes sugar coated. I would not say immediately, you know, just throw people away. But I believe when
Right.
you've exhausted all your energy, all your resources, all your tools, and am I saying people cannot be restored and relationships cannot last long? But there are times where, you know, one person's putting in the work, one person's putting in that effort, and the next person is not trying to match that effort. You know, and at a certain point, I meet a lot of people like this. I've met men and I've met women. Specifically, I've met women where they're like, you know, I'm keep trying. I'm giving them another chance. 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 And here's the thing, man. We're not guaranteed tomorrow.
Right.
Time is precious. And people keep doing these chances and chances and chances and chances. And the other person's not putting in no effort. You're exhausting all your resources. And you will wake up one day, man, you know, 40, 45, 50, 60, and you still with this person. And here's the thing. I've met women like this and men where people tired. I'm putting the spirituality part in there. And they be like, you know, people have advised them and say, you know, God brought that together. You don't, you know, if you leave that man or leave that woman, you kind of dishonoring God. And so some people
Mm,
stay for that, even though they have exhausted all their energy, all their resources, did the counseling, did the coaching, did the mentoring, did the women's retreat, the men's retreat, the marriage retreat, the
yeah.
relationship retreat, and it's still not working. You know what I mean? And then some people end up staying in a bad situation only to appease other people.
Right. Right.
Only to appease other people. No, I believe no. If you've done all of these necessary steps, I'm not saying you just tried once, you know, and then you just left. But if you know that you fought for this relationship and you fought genuinely and wholeheartedly, and the other person was not even attempting to fight for you. Now, here's the thing. This is a chapter in my second book called "Fight for It," because I say everybody has a fighter in them. We all just fight different.
Right.
But people fight for what they want. If somebody wants a promotion at their job, if there's a basketball player, he wants to win that championship, a football player wants to win this championship, or whatever that thing is in life, and you want it bad enough. A woman wants that pair of shoes, or a guy wants to, you know, get this particular type of this object. Maybe it's a boat, maybe it's a car or a house. You are going to fight for it. And when it comes to the relationship, you got to fight for it. Now, as I can give you some examples of how to fight for me, but I can't fight for you. I can't get in your shoes and fight for myself. I can give you some like
Right.
little bit of tools, but after a certain point, you got to fight for me like I'm fighting for you. And I believe some people don't fight. They sit there and say, "Oh no, if you really want something, you're gonna fight for it." And if that person's not matching that, then at a certain point, you got to go. You got to make a decision, and that's a difficult decision, because I'm not saying just walk away, but after you exhausted, like I said, that energy, and you're fighting for it.
Yeah.
You fighting. And if that person's not matching it, then it's like, you know what? I got to make a decision. I think I'm gonna leave. And then there's so
Hmm.
many things that plays into that scenario, because if there's children involved, if there's family involved, then the decision becomes a little harder. It's a little more
Yeah.
difficult. But you got to weigh it out and be like, you know what? It's a difficult decision, but I think I got to go.
Hmm.
And most
Okay.
people, like I said, they stay to appease other people. Like, man, if I leave, what is the family going to think? If I leave, what is the church going to think? If I leave, what is this person going to think? That person going to think? I said this when I had to go through a situation like that. I was contemplating this, and it was going through my mind constantly. And this particular phrase hit my head that I live by. The time that I have left is more valuable than the time that I've spent.
Mm.
So although I spent what maybe for some people, it's the longevity of the situation. It was 10 years, it might have been 5 years, it might have been less, but that's a lot of time you spent. But the time you have left is more valuable because you haven't even experienced it yet. You haven't even seen it. You don't know what that time has to offer.
Right. Okay. Okay. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
I hope that
good.
I hope that answered the question.
Yeah. 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 It's a, that's a good answer. Um, let's see what else I got for you. I mean, I think, with relationships, they're so complex. So I think there's so many questions I could ask you, but I know like those two stood out. And now I'm thinking of, just how on a day to day, you keep a relationship interesting. How do you not get bored? How do you keep it interesting? I know people always say you got to continue to date. Um, what do you really do to just keep it going so that you don't reach that point where you're like, I'm over it? How do you keep it interesting?
Man, you know what? I was just talking to somebody about this yesterday, and I had shared this on a previous podcast, but it does bear reiterating. And this is a chapter in the second book. I gotta release this to you guys. And I don't care about sharing it right now, but it's called Meeting Again. And this was something that I gotta give honor to God, because he dropped this in me. He said, Jamel, when I went through a particular relationship setback, he said, I need you to meet this person again as if it's the first time, because that's what I do with you. He said, every morning that you wake up, I look at you like you're a brand new person. I don't think about what you did yesterday, what you did last year. I look at you like you're a new person. This is new mercy. This is new grace. Think about it. And I want to share this for people that are watching or people that are listening, because I think we need this type of dialogue put into relationships. Because imagine if God looked at you, Marissa, when you woke up tomorrow, like, you know what? I love you, but I don't love you like that because what you did last week.
Right.
God don't do that. When you wake up tomorrow morning, whatever you did today, He's gonna be looking at you with fresh set of eyes. Oh, that's my girl right there, Marissa. 100% full tank. And I believe that's what needs to be done. We need to meet people again as if it's the first time. It's not something that's done overnight. I've been actually training my mind to do this for about 2 years,
Mm.
called Meeting Again. I literally meet the person again as if it's the first time. Now, it can happen in all relationships because I use it in all relationships, but specifically with a significant other. Because think about it, when we meet that person, that guy or that girl, maybe like a weekend or two, there's certain things that we're doing when we first met them. The fireworks is going off. You know what I mean? We can't see no wrong in our eyes against them. And they're just
Yeah.
so beautiful. He's so handsome. She's amazing. Everything's so great. Maybe it's the first week, the first 2 months. But then somewhere down the line, this familiarity kicks in, and now the meeting again portion is gone. And now what we're doing is we're just meeting. So the way
Mm.
he used to scramble his eggs and chop those onions, you could chop those onions real fine because he didn't like them in chunks, sprinkled a little bit of cheese, just a tad bit of salt, a lot of pepper. You knew exactly the science behind making this omelet. And then
Right.
maybe she liked her ice cream. When she went and got her ice cream, she was like, babe, I like sprinkles on it, but I actually like it on one side of the ice cream, not on the other side. And he was like, oh, don't matter. I mastered it. I know how you like your ice cream. And he brought it to you every time like that for those first 2 months, those first 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, however long. And you did those eggs just like that. But somewhere down the line, he's like, hey, babe, can you make me an omelet? And now you in the kitchen and you chopping the onions. You ain't chopping them fine no more. It's just boom, 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 boom. And here you go. Here's your omelet. Now the eggs, they got the chunky onions in there. And now you didn't put enough pepper in there. It's like, hey, just take your omelet. Then he goes and gets your ice cream. And it's like, baby, you give me the ice cream. And now you got the ice cream. It sprinkles all over the top of the ice cream. You done added almonds on there. No, she don't like almonds. But it's like, hey, I got the ice cream. You're like, man, you put sprinkles on. Man, it's nothing but sprinkles, Dad. Why you acting like that? So the meeting again portion has left. And I really believe, and I've seen it, it's been tested, tried, and true. When you meet people again as if it's the first time. Now, it's not easy. You have to train your mind because you're not going to want to do it, especially after 6 months or a year in or 2 years in. It has to train my mind. Like, let me give a real life example, right? Take my sip my tea before I say this. For my podcast listeners out there.
Oh boy.
There's a woman that I'm seeing, right? Mm-hmm. And I want to give this real life example because every day I wake up and there's times where it might not be right in the morning or it may be later in the morning or later in the afternoon, but more than likely it's in the morning because once again, it's part of this meeting again, where I'm about to text something, and this is a practical way, and I'm about to text, good morning, hey, how you doing? But then I think about it. I say, you know what? Hold on a second, Jamal. Meeting again. When you first met this person, you know how it was. When you about to shoot them a text, you about to put something together. Like you put some thought process behind this. Like I'm about to text them something good morning where when they see this text, they're going to be like, oh, good morning. You know what I mean? So therefore, I this is what I do. I pause and I go, no, remember, we're meeting again. And I was saying every day you might miss the mark some days, but once you start to train your mind, you'll hit the mark more than miss it. So before I send a text, I pause and I go, no, what would I have said when I first met her the first week or the second week? I would have sent the message with a little emoji or a little video. That's just me. Everybody's different. I'm just using a text message as an example.
Right.
I would have highlighted a certain thing that she told me in a conversation in that morning, and that's what I do. And then I send the message. And so that's a practical way of meeting again. And then when you see the person, I'm being intentional. Like, you know what? You just see him and be like, oh, hey, how you doing? No. How would you have greeted them or approached them when you first met them that first month, that second month, that third month? You would have got your hair a certain type of way. The dude he really groomed himself up. Now you're just showing up like, what's up? Come on, you ready?
True. Okay.
And a lot of times this is where that word familiarity kicks in, and meeting again as if it's the first time can break it. So you go from just meeting to meeting again. Imagine how beautiful and bliss. I am convinced that you can have blissful, that fantasy, amazing, loving relationships. You can have it because you can create what happens when you're meeting again. Like, there's a guy that's watching this right now or listening. Go get her some flowers. Maybe there's a guy that's already doing that. Whatever you haven't done, go do it today. Go do it for her. And it's a woman that's watching it. There may have been something that when you first met your man, you would be doing that. You would strategically and put a plan together to meet this particular need so he could put a big smile on his face or have his heart jumping. And you may not have done that in a long time because you're just meeting. You're not meeting again, intentional, like it was the first time, the first week, the first couple of months. You know how we was. We were strategic, boy, when we first met somebody.
Yeah.
Them stars was aligning right. Everything was just so,
focused.
Oh my God. You telling all your homegirls, you telling all your homeboys, and now it's like, I'm going, what you want? All right, French toast, okay. Dang, you done burnt the French toast. Just scrape it off. Stop acting like that. You wouldn't have did that when you first met me. You'd have had that syrup on there. You know how it is, man. Got the peanut butter and jelly sandwich looking all sloppy now. Used to make sure that jelly ain't slide off the side. Put that peanut butter on there just right. Because that's how he liked that sandwich or she liked that sandwich. Then you fold that thing just, look, here's the thing. You was even cutting the sandwich. You would cut that joker in half. Now you just peanut butter on there, jelly on
just
there.
Putting it on.
Here go your sandwich. And baby, and look, and here's where this is sobering because here's where disagreements and arguments will pop off. You hand the sandwich to them, and they're like, "Man, you're not gonna cut it. Cut your own sandwich, man. I got things to do. I got the kids. I got this. I got to go to work. Just cut it."
Right,
No, but when you first met him, you was cutting the sandwich.
right.
You don't got to stop cutting the sandwich. You don't got to put the peanut butter and jelly on all sloppy. Put that thing on because you know what it does. You got to be intentional because there's times you don't want to do it. Maybe you guys had a disagreement the night before. Here we go.
Mhm.
Or you did, or something happened the week before, and now he or she wants their sandwich, and you like, damn, because they pissed me off last night. Right in those
Yeah,
moments is this is where I train my mind and go, you know what? No, I'm gonna meet her again like it's the first time. I'm gonna make this sandwich. I know we had a disagreement last night or last week, but this does not affect right now. So I'm gonna put this
right.
peanut butter on, even though I don't want to. I'm going through the motions. I'm putting it on there smoothly. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna cut it. Here you go, babe. And then maybe in that moment, I might just can we discuss what happened last night? Or can we discuss what happened last week? Here's how I'm feeling. Now, at least for an open conversation.
Yeah, yeah. That's important. That's important. I think a lot of times we're not having conversations about things like that. Like we get stuck in what happened, and like you said, you just carry it on instead of meeting again. I think meeting again is actually a really dope concept.
Yeah, we don't want to meet it. The reason most of us avoid meeting again, because then it requires another level of love. Think about it. God's meeting you every day. Like you could have been rebellious, spit in his face, disrespected his grace and everything. But when tomorrow comes, you're like, come here, I love you. Come here.
Yeah,
Now, am I saying allow people to treat you like a doormat and walk over you? No, you have to use discernment and discretion of what that thing is. But most of the time, you can meet that person again with fresh love every day, especially if your partner is not intentionally trying to, break you down and destroy you. Of course, you're going to have disagreements and challenges, but it should never lead to you not want to meet them again with that fresh, star bursting 4th of July fireworks type of love. You'd be amazed what it does. I'm telling you, I do it, and it's amazing. It's amazing what it does, man. And it might not even be that you guys had a disagreement. It's just that you're being so intentional with it that the person is like, "Yo, what the heck? Like, this dude has been consecutive or consistent, or this woman is being consistent for 6 months, a year and a half. The same type of love this person had for me the first week, the second week. She's still making this sandwich the same way, bro. 3 years later, she still got my mayonnaise just right, a just amount of turkey, my tomatoes, my lettuce, the sandwich cut for 6 years. She's been doing this.
so what happens like when you fall off, like, there are going to be times in general where you fall off and that's not happening. How do you get back? How do you get back to that space? Do you just all of a sudden do it? Like, because sometimes it's when you're not on the same page or something like that, it's like who makes the move first? You know what I mean? When you need to get back to that space. Like, I find myself sometimes in a relationship looking at the other person like, well, if you were doing this, then I wouldn't be doing this. You know what I mean? Instead of maybe just saying I can change my actions in order to make things better. So how do you get yourself back, like back in that space?
In that meeting again space.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
how do you get past the stuff?
yeah, I believe that. Like when you said first, when you're looking out at the next person, that's already the first step. I don't want to use the word wrong, but for lack of better terms, wrong,
Yeah.
because we should be intentional, focusing on ourselves and improving ourselves.
Right.
I remember my friend said it takes the seriousness in somebody else to pull the seriousness out of you. So when this
Mm,
person sees you being serious and you're being intentional about putting your best foot forward and not ignoring your brokenness, because we're all broken
right.
in that relationship. I want to say that again because I say this a lot. Like, we are all broken people. You
Yeah.
got two people in a relationship. I don't care how perfected they deem themselves to be or how educated they have gotten, how much exercise you're broken. Now, the thing is, if you're willing to identify your brokenness and not be ignorant to it and ignore it and do something about it, then we can move forward. So as you as
Right.
an individual, first, I'm identifying my brokenness. I might not even identify it to you. Identify it to myself first. Like, man, I'm broken in this area. I'm kind of slacking. I was doing this consistently and now I kind of fell off. I'm not even looking at her. I'm looking at me now. Like, man, get back to your consistency. You know what? Go back to your baby steps. Go back to the basics. Okay. And now I start going back to the basics. At least first thing, I identified it. Because most people will ignore it and say, you know what? I know I got this going on, but now I'm looking at him or her. Well, what you gonna do? How you gonna get?
Yeah.
No, because now it becomes this finger point. Now I'm trying to change this person into something that I haven't even become.
Mm.
And so I need to
Right.
add value to my own life. Once, like I always say, valuable people attract people of value. As I'm adding value to my own life, the person my significant other is going to draw to that, or it may push them away. But if I'm adding value, people are attracted to value.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a mental thing because, like I said, we're all broken, and we got to admit that we're broken first to ourselves. Like, you know what, and not broken like, you know, like I'm broke down, I can't be repaired. But some area in our life is broken, and we like, you know what, let me repair this area step by step so I can get back to that meeting again. It's a blissful place. And here's the thing, I would say this: it does take a mutual agreement.
Okay.
Because a mutual agreement in terms of mutual, meaning there's two people that's benefit from it. It's being reciprocated. I'm not saying like I'm the one always sending these beautiful text messages, meeting again, you know, we making the peanut butter and jelly sandwich that certain way. And then when it's time for what you desire, that it's not being reciprocated. See, that's where the train runs off the track. There has to be reciprocation taking place.
And what if there's not?
Then that's when it goes back to that first question that you asked.
Right.
Now I got to do an evaluation. I'm using tools, I'm using strategies, I'm using resources, and it seems like this person's not willing to fight for it. Now, once again, that fight doesn't always have to mean that something's going wrong, but a fight for it can be like, okay, I'm sending text messages or I'm doing this, that, and the third, whatever your love language is. I highly
Right.
recommend any couple on this planet Earth to get the book Love Language, Five
Yeah.
Love Languages. If you know that if you're catering to this person's love language, and they're not even attempting to learn yours so they can reciprocate that love, then we're going to have to do an evaluation. Like, man, you know, what am I doing here? Because once again, the time that I have left is more valuable than the time that I spent. So I'm going to make a crucial decision for the benefit of my own future, let alone our future.
Right. Right. Oh, you're good.
Man, you know
You're
what? Here's
good.
the thing, man. People need to stop playing games in these streets, man.
Facts.
Because I believe people know what they want. We know what we want. We are very brilliant in all these other areas of our lives. We are geniuses. We research deep and we go take notes and we go to seminars and to make that money and go to these marketing ventures and all of this. Because when it comes to making that bag and getting that money, when it comes
Yeah.
to our relationships, we dumb it down and be like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. And then here's the thing. I do believe there's some people that do need strategies and tools. I'm not negating that. But
Mm-hmm.
the willingness, that word right there, the willingness to have this longevity is in all of us. It's just what are we willing to fight for? Because there's something that everybody will fight for what they want.
Right.
If you really want that relationship, the willingness is in you to fight for it because you'll fight for anything else. You'll fight for that vacation. You'll fight for that outfit. You'll fight for that bag. You'll fight for something. It's just what do you want bad enough?
Right. This is good. This is good.
Yeah.
You're good at this, dude.
Man, I'm the relationship mechanic, man.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed. This is good stuff.
So, Marissa, I thank you very much because even the questions that you posed, I believe it's going to be an eye opener for a lot of people that have watched this or are listening to this podcast. The Value Podcast is the #1 podcast for relationships in the world. Mark my word. People don't believe
Get
it,
it.
but they're gonna see it, man. They're gonna see it.